12-year-old boy perishes in house fire. 12 of 16 Malaysians safely repatriated, and multiple people shot in New York City subway. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Hendy Gui, and this is TVS Nightline. Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg today received a courtesy call from SME Corp Malaysia. The delegation was led by the Director of SME Corp Malaysia Sarawak branch, Faiz R. Sutarji. Among matters discussed in the half-hour meeting include modern farming and food security issues in Sarawak.
Alhamdulillah, we are given opportunity to meet up with Premier Sarawak hari tu yang untuk update our performance, our agency performance, and we are happy to share with him about a number of assistance to the SMEs in Sarawak. Among the focus that YAB Datuk Patinggi highlighted is about to focus more on modern farming. So modern farming because basically highlight that there are many opportunities that we can go and get benefit from this modern farming. And also the fact that food security is also among the highlight in order to have a prosperous nation. So those are the items that we will bring back to our HQ and discuss back on how best we can assist Sarawak.
These mark SME Corp Malaysia's second courtesy call to the Premier of Sarawak at Wisma Bapa, Malaysia. Now, Sarawak will embark on a pilot program aimed at increasing public awareness of drug and substance abuse among drivers. This comes after a worrying trend of accidents involving drug-abusive drivers.
A collaborative effort between the National Anti-Drugs Agency AADK and Sarawak Road Transport Department JPJ, the Pioneer Project will begin from May to December this year.
Dan ini adalah program rintis di negara kita dan pertama sekali di Malaysia lah. Dan ianya telah dibiayai sepenuhnya oleh kerajaan negeri.
He said this in a press conference after the Sarawak Anti-Drug Action Council MTMD meeting 2022 on Tuesday. Additionally, he said that the program aims to increase awareness of drug and substance abuse among driving instructors and students, and at the same time, promoting a drug-free driving school culture. At the same time, MTMD Sarawak Chairman Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said the program is necessary due to the increasing number of accident cases involving drug abusers.
Program ini bagi saya amat bagus sekali kerana kalau kita lihat statistik kes-kes pemandu baiknya e-hailing dan sebagainya yang terlibat dengan aksiden dan apabila dicek ada menggunakan ataupun menggunakan mengambil dadah dan sebagainya. Sebab itulah program-program yang saya ADK dan juga pusat pemandu ni amat bagus sekali.
The meeting was also attended by the Minister of Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah.
Sarawak has established a total of 40 one-stop community centres OSC to tackle the issue of drugs and prohibited substances. And according to Sarawak Head of Criminal and Narcotic Investigation Department, Assistant Commissioner of Police Jasmirul Jamaluddin, this continuous initiative implemented by the Sarawak government has successfully recorded almost 20 million ringgit in drug seizures in 2021.
Kadang-kadang COVID sekalipun kita telah berjaya merampas lebih 19 juta dadah pada tahun lepas berbanding dengan keadaan sebelum COVID hanya beberapa juta saja. Ini menunjukkan bahawa usaha dan komitmen kerajaan negeri bersama dengan pihak Jabatan Narkotik ini sentiasa bersama. Dan begitu juga dengan penubuhan OSC One Stop Committee yang telah ditubuhkan oleh pihak kerajaan sehingga ada 40 one-stop committee ini. So saya harap dengan one-stop center ini segala masalah, segala persatuan yang kita ada ni lebih dapat kita menangani isu-isu dadah dan substan terutamanya.
Minister of Women, Children and Community Welfare Development, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah, on Tuesday, April 12th, lauded the effectiveness of the centre under JASMI role. Fatimah noted that a total of 33,023,017 ringgit value of seizure was successfully recorded in Sarawak since June 2020.
Sedalam tempoh tidak sampai 2 tahun, SCP JASMI role telah mengemudi JSJM Sarawak dan Jawatan Kuasa Teknikal OSC menangani isu dadah dan substance, dan di bawah beliau dengan kepimpinan yang sangat committed dan mempunyai visi yang jelas yang bukan sahaja dihayati oleh beliau sendiri tetapi juga dihayati oleh seluruh pasukan dan tenaga kerja di bawah beliau ini. So, pencapaian yang cukup cemerlang, hasil operasi yang kerap, this is very important, kerap menjalankan operasi bersepadu dan berkesan, dan rekod dari segi tangkapan yang semasa khidmat beliau adalah 14,574 tangkapan, 14,574 in less than 2 years, melibatkan aktiviti penyalahgunaan dadah dan substance direkod sejak Jun 2020. Daripada nilai daripada jumlah dadah yang dirampas, ianya dapat menyelamat 387,011 orang yang berpotensi menagih atau menyalahguna dadah, atau in terms of usage what 14,574 tangkapan means ialah 3,096,093 kali penggunaan, dapat mengelakkan 3,096,093 kali penggunaan bagi setiap bulan terhadap pelbagai jenis dadah seperti syabu, ketamin, ganja, serbuk ecstasy, eramin dan sebagainya.
She said the seizure of distributors' property and arrests under the Special Preventive Measures Act also recorded an increase to the value of 10,244,472 ringgit, with 59 arrests since June 2020. For the record, Sarawak ranked in the country's top 3 on eradicating drug activities.
The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC confirmed that there is no element of corruption in the construction of a 50,000 ringgit wooden jetty in Kampong Mutap Bekenu in Sarawak. In a statement today, experts have certified that belian timber was indeed used for the construction of the wooden jetty.
MACC Senior Director Hishamuddin Hashim confirmed the matter but declined to elaborate on the investigation and the findings. Yesterday, the Sarawak Public Works Department JKR sought to address the uproar over the construction of the wooden jetty. JKR said the estimated cost took into account various factors, including the cost of the belian timber, road access to Kampong Mutap, logistics and safety. It said the cost to build the jetty was based on its schedule of rates for 2020, with the belian timber used for the construction priced at 9,000 ringgit per meter cube. This was lower than the current market rate. JKR was responding to criticism on social media, with many questioning the quality of the construction and alleging cronyism. These netizens claim the jetty could be constructed for far less, with some quoting as little as 5,000 ringgit based on their own calculations. JKR said its first proposed a steel jetty, but the village chief preferred the use of belian timber instead.
Spurred by her love of reading, Rafia Wahi has set up a pop-up library near her home to provide free reading materials for the local community. The Book Heaven Street Library is a house in a booth with a glass door along the pavement at Muara Tuang Park, a place where book lovers can borrow, exchange or donate books to be shared with the community. This is an inspiring story of Rafia and her desire to empower and cultivate reading habits.
Rafia, 43 years old, started the project in 2016 after coming across such a concept on the internet.
Penangga di luar negara memang setidaknya dah lama mengamalkan street library. Even banyak orang just letak depan rumah masing-masing supaya orang lain boleh ambil dan derma buku bila-bila masa. So idea timbul tahun 2016, kami dah minta adik kami untuk binakan kami satu street library lah.
The lecturer from University Malaysia Sarawak Unimas said she would also like to see a nationwide network of free street libraries to help combat illiteracy and break the poverty cycle through education. She started the project with her own personal collection and spread the awareness via social media.
Ada dari koleksi pribadi kami dan ada juga yang orang derma lah. Bila kami share dalam social media yang kami dah letak rumah buku tu with a few of my book collections dalamnya. Ada yang tampil dan datang untuk menderma buku. Malah ada yang post buku. Berkotak-kotak setidaknya post buku. Dari Semenanjung pun ada. It's not new book tapi masih dalam keadaan baik dan boleh kita gunakan lah.
Rafia describes the project as a self-service community library where people can take the books home and return them once finished.
Take any title that you are interested in. Si perlu register apa-apa dan si perlu si ada due date untuk kembalikan buku lah. Sekiranya buku yang rasa suka ingin nak simpan, boleh simpan. So far kami si nangga sebarang abuse pada benda tu lah.
Such mobility cultivates reading habits among the community through encouragement and accessibility.
A 12-year-old boy perished in a fire that broke out at a house in Kampong Masjid, Kuala Baram earlier today. Meanwhile, a man in his 50s suffered 30% burns on his back. The Fire and Rescue Department Operations Centre said 22 firefighters from Lopeng and Miri fire stations were deployed to the scene after receiving a distress call at 4:59 p.m. Firefighters managed to put the fire under control at 6:21 p.m. Welcome back. Now, the Department of Veterinary Services TVS Sarawak will investigate samples of pigs that recently died in Nangga Ngungun resettlement scheme. TVS Director Dr. Adrian Susin Ambut noted that the samples have been sent to a laboratory in Kuching for confirmation. On April 10th, residents of resettlement reported that several pigs died over the past 2 weeks. The pigs were suspected to be infected by ASF after one of the residents noticed that the first 2 pigs showed symptoms such as decreased appetite less than a week before they died. Dr. Adrian repeated the department's reminders for pig farmers across Sarawak to continue to be vigilant and tighten their farm's biosecurity to curb ASF. He also advised against bringing pigs from outside into the farm. Now, 12 Malaysians who were held captive in Cambodia after being duped by a lucrative job offers as customer service officers were safely repatriated on Tuesday. However, 4 others are still in the country as they have to undergo quarantine after being tested positive for COVID-19. The 12 men arrived in Kuala Lumpur International Airport 2 KLIA2 at 8:10 a.m. It was a result of the close cooperation between the Royal Malaysia Police and the Cambodian Police, as well as Interpol, ASEANapol, and Wisma Putra. Earlier on April 4th, the 16 Malaysians were arrested after the Cambodian authorities received information on their involvement in illegal activities in the country. However, Foreign Ministry Deputy Secretary General Dato' Amran Mohamed Zin said legal action has been set aside for the time being, and instead, the effort to bring them home was prioritized. Amran added that the Malaysian embassy in Cambodia was monitoring the condition of the 4 other Malaysians, one of whom is a woman, and would arrange for their return as soon as they were cleared of COVID-19.
Bagi kumpulan 16 orang rakyat kita yang pulang pada 12 hari ini dan masih tinggal 4 orang lagi di Phnom Penh, mereka telah ditahan di Sihanouk Valley di Cambodia pada 4 hari bulan April, and then mereka dibawa ke Phnom Penh pada 7 hari bulan, dan kita telah sebelum ini pun meneruskan kerjasama melalui kedutaan kita di Phnom Penh untuk menguruskan kepulangan mereka. Selain itu, kerjasama yang telah diadakan di pihak PDRM dengan pihak polis Cambodia melalui ASEAN juga turut dipergiatkan, dan alhamdulillah kita syukur bahawa mereka dapat pulang ke Malaysia hari ini.
All 12 men arrived via Jetstar 3K682 flight from Phnom Penh and transited in Singapore before landing in Kuala Lumpur. In a similar development, Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department Director Dato' Sri Abdul Jalil Hassan revealed that 16 Malaysians were deceived and forced to work as scammers by a syndicate which offered lucrative job offers as customer service officers in Cambodia. As such, the police will cooperate with international authorities, including ASEANapol based in Kuala Lumpur, in the effort to locate the whereabouts of the victims. He also urged anyone with additional information on the Malaysian citizens stranded abroad to immediately report to the authorities. Now, Nicky Liao, one of Malaysia's most wanted men linked to scam ring, has pleaded not guilty to 26 counts of money laundering and possession of illegal money amounting to more than 36 million ringgit from 2016 to 2021. The businessman, aged 34, made a plea as soon as the charges were read by an interpreter before Judge Helena Sulaiman. According to the first two 24th charges, the accused and 3 companies linked to him were charged with directly engaging in transactions from money laundering activities of over 33.7 million ringgit under paragraph 4, bracket 1, bracket A of the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds from Unlawful Activities Act 2001, which are punishable under subsection 4, bracket 1 of the same act. Meanwhile, on 2 more charges, he was accused of possessing receipts of money from the same activities involving more than 2.29 million ringgit under paragraph 4, bracket 1, bracket B of Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds from Unlawful Activities Act 2001, which could be punished under subsection 4, bracket 1 of the same act. All the offences were committed at 2 banks in Bandar Puteri Puchong and Ampang Town from 2016 to 2021. If convicted, the accused could be jailed a maximum of 15 years and fined not less than 5 times of the total amount or value of proceeds from the illegal activity or equipment of the offence at the time the offence was committed, or 5 million ringgit, whichever is higher. The case is set to be mentioned on May 26. Now on to some global affairs. At least 13 people have been shot during morning rush hour at a New York subway station. And according to local media, shots were fired at the 36th Street station in Sunset Park around 8:30 local time on Tuesday morning. The suspected gunman remains on the loose. Undetonated explosive devices were also found on the scene. Tropical storm MEGI left at least 20 dead in the Philippines on Tuesday, April 12. The storm made landfall on Sunday, April 10, with sustained winds of up to 65 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 80 kilometers per hour.
According to a National Disaster Agency spokesperson, in the eastern province of Leyte, over 14 bodies were recovered after being buried under a landslide. The storm is expected to weaken to 45 kilometers per hour and move back out over sea on Tuesday. MEGI is the first storm to hit the archipelago this year. that sees 20 such storms annually.
Now, Japan's Honda Motor Company plans to spend $64 billion on research and development over the next 10 years, as it aims to roll out more than 30 electric vehicle models globally by 2030.
The aim marks a push by the automaker to ramp up their presence in the fast-growing market for electric vehicles, where Japanese car makers have risked falling behind the competition, including Tesla and traditional European and US rivals. Honda has plans to produce 2 million electric vehicles a year by 2030. The bulk of the investment would be in electrification and software technologies. They would spend over $300 million on a demonstration line for the production of solid-state batteries, scheduled to start in spring 2024.
Now wrapping up the Nightline, after being released from her 13-long-year conservatorship, superstar Britney Spears came with another good news, as she is expecting her third child. She also alluded to the idea that she is now married to her fiancé, calling him her husband, on the Instagram post.
In the post, Britney noticed changes on her stomach but dismissed it as weight gain. Her husband even told her that she is pregnant with food, which prompted her to take a pregnancy test and test positive. She then recounted her previous pregnancy, where she suffered major depression and promises to live healthier physically and mentally. Britney has 2 sons from her previous marriage with Kevin Federline, 16-year-old Sean Preston and 15-year-old Jaden James. Last November, Britney's conservatorship was dismissed, ending any control that her father, Jamie Spears, has over her personal life and a $60 million estate.
And that concludes the Nightline for tonight. With that, I'm Henny Gui. Stay safe and have a pleasant night.